I call the meeting of June 5th, 2023 to order at 6 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Could the clerk please call the roll?
Potato,
Here.
Brown,
Yeah.
Cole,
Here.
Hochstetter,
Here.
Newman,
She's-
Councilmember Newman,
She's here, but she's not talking.
Reed,
Yes.
Councilmember Reed.
I am here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stewart,
Here.
All right, we are all present. Okay, first thing is consent agenda. Will the clerk please read the lengthy consent agenda?
item number 1, approval of the minutes from the May 15th, 2023 regular council meeting and May 2023 study session.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Hochstetter, would you make a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Yes, I move we adopt the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Botetto. Okay, and is there anything anybody would like to remove off of that one thing? Seeing none. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? None. Thank you. Passes unanimous. No public hearing tonight. Move on to regular business. We have no unfinished business. We have no public. If there's anybody online that would like to speak, any public? I see none. All right, we move to resolution number 1658, accepting U.S. Department of Treasury grants, and I call on Director Ryan Windisch.
Mayor, could we get a motion, please?
Sure. Do I have a motion to accept the resolution number 1658? Councilmember Stewart. I think you're muted, Earl.
There we go.
There we go.
I move to approve resolution number 1658, accepting the U.S. Department of Treasury grant through the Washington State Department of Commerce.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Councilmember Deputy Mayor Hochstetter is a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, we want to have the presentation. before vote.
Mayor's turn to
Okay.
make-
Go ahead, Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. I know you're trying to set a record here for the shortest council meeting ever.
Well, it didn't start off too well, but we're good.
Well, good evening, everyone. So tonight is accepting the U.S. Department of Treasury grant for assisting our businesses who suffered from the fire that happened last October. This really was an incredibly fortunate opportunity for our businesses, having this disaster grant to be able to apply for. As it was stated, it's through the Washington State Department of Commerce. It's their ARPA funds that are being passed through. And then the city is further passing it on through as the agent to disperse the funds to the applicants. And as you know, the fire affected 15 businesses, burned out 7, and many of the businesses in our next presentation, Cassandra Raymond will show you which businesses and how much they received. But I can tell you it was a reimbursement grant, and it was just, there was businesses that owners who had spent their savings trying to recover and do what they needed to do. And with this grant, they were able to basically get that money back into their savings accounts. And it's just been an incredibly great opportunity for them in terms of recovery. And if you haven't seen the article today in the News Tribune, there's a follow-up on the different businesses and how they've been able to recover or not in terms of opening. So there's still a recovery on its way. So the grant award is in Sumner is $661,298 will be awarded to 9 Sumner businesses. And then additionally, the city of Sumner is eligible for $20,000 to offset administrative costs of dispersing the awards. And all funds will be dispersed to applicants by May 31st, 2023. I just also want to say this was about the fastest grant process I've ever been a part of. I think they let us know this was going to be available in February, and then by March or April, we were telling all the businesses they needed to apply and then needed to get all the funds distributed by May 31st. And I can also tell you that our finance department, Cassandra's team, definitely hit it out of the park in terms of making things happen fast once we had the applications finalized. So I guess there's a motion on the table. I'm happy to answer any other questions if there are any.
All right, do we have any comments from the public, which there is no public here, but maybe online? Seeing none, any comments from the council? You see it? Deputy Mayor.
I just would like to tell Ryan, we really appreciate you working on this and helping the businesses. A lot of times they wouldn't even have known that sort of thing was available, and the fact that you got down there and communicated well, I think is very fortunate for all of them and for the city as a whole. So thank you.
Councilmember Botetto.
So it looks like all the money's been distributed.
Yes,
Distributed.
yep, correct.
Yeah.
All the money that was applied for eligible applicants, they've received the funds.
Okay, good. That's good to hear.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Cole,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
There we go, unanimous. Okay, moving on to ordinance number 2855. Councilmember Cole, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I move to approve ordinance number 2855, amending the 2023-2024 biennial budget.
All right, do we have a second?
Yes. Second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. And I will call on Cassandra Raymond.
There we go. Cassandra Raymond, Chief Financial Officer. This is ordinance 2855. This is amending the 23-24 budget. This might be one of the shortest budget amendments that we have, but it's one that I have the honor of presenting. First of all, really thanks to Mr. Windish. Finance did the paperwork on the back end for this grant, but Mr. Windish really is the one that was coordinating with the businesses and doing that kind of on the ground work. So appreciate it. This really was a fast process. We are here now to accept the resolution and then amend the budget. We have a total award of $884,104 that's being dispersed out to businesses that have suffered due to some sort of a disaster. A good number of those businesses were in the city of Sumner. These were the ones that were impacted by our Main Street fire. By acting as a local agent, the Department of Commerce also asked if we would be willing to take on the role of also dispersing to some other one-off entities, just in various cities that had been impacted by various disasters. And of course, we were happy to help to do that. So total awards, 884,104. Of that, 661,298 went to our Sumner businesses. And then an additional 222,000 and some change to other local businesses. And these were Tacoma, Ruston, Tahale. So they were close by. So next slide, please. Oh, I've got it. There we go. So this is the actual budget amendment. What we're asking is to recognize the revenue. This is the amount that's being dispersed by Department of Commerce to the city of $884,104, plus an additional $20,000 that is coming into the city as an administrative fee for acting as that local agent to disperse the funds. So on the revenue side, asking to recognize $904,104, and then on the expenditure side, recognizing the disbursement of $884,104. So happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? Councilmember Potato.
So even though you were asked to do the other agencies, the administrative fee is still the 20,000. They didn't increase that.
No,
Okay.
Anybody else? Mr. Brown.
I'm not sure. We didn't see, or at least I didn't see those specific applications for the businesses outside of the city limits. It may be anything from a fire to flooding to winds. It could have been almost anything. The funds were being dispersed as part of the Department of Commerce's Disaster Relief Fund. So as long as something qualified, they were able to apply through the Department of Commerce and get funding.
Councilmember Cole.
Yes, I just want to say kudos to finance because this is the second time I'm seeing this because I'm a member of the Finance and Personnel Committee. And it was a really tight turnaround. And so good job on just getting that all done.
Thank you. Really, a lot of the credit, like I said, goes to community development. It goes to the Department of Commerce. And then I'll just say, I know we don't have any of the public here, but the business owners were incredibly grateful. Many of them commented that, you know, insurance runs very slowly. And so they were very grateful to have this opportunity and then have it turned around very quickly. So it was helpful.
Yeah, nice job. All right. No public, so no comments from the public. Oh, Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you. Cassandra, very nice job. And Ryan, with your department too. And Madam Mayor, would it be appropriate to ask a question regarding the source of the fire as far as what the status of getting any kind of restitution from the people that caused the fire?
Councilmember Stewart, this is City Administrator Wilson. So obviously there is a criminal case pending against the person that has been charged with arson. There may be some restitution ordered by the court as part of that if she's found guilty, but that would probably be a ways down the road. She's still much earlier. She's in the pretrial phase, so and pending competency as well. So it could be quite some time before it's resolved on a criminal matter. And then
Okay.
also the businesses are continuing to work with their insurance companies.
I see. Well, I think this is wonderful that we're getting them back up on and operating, and very nice job to the staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Stewart,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
Unanimous again. All right, our next order of business is the appointment of opioid abatement council members and alternate. Say that fast 3 times.
Well, we first want to do resolutions.
Okay, but first we're going to do the Pierce County Opioid Abatement Council Interlocal Agreement. And I have
I need to.
Andrea Marquez, but first, Councilmember Boteto, would you like to make a motion?
Sure.
I should have stayed home today.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 1659, Pierce County Opioid Abatement Council Interlocal Agreement.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. I call on Andrea Marquez. There we go. We
Thank
got
you,
it out.
Mayor. Resolution 1659 accompanies the interlocal agreement between the city of Sumner and all of the Pierce County cities for the purpose of forming the Opioid Abatement Council. And as a reminder, the OAC oversees and distributes the settlement funds that came out of the settlements with the manufacturers and distributors of the opioid epidemic. The OAC formation is a requirement of the One Washington MOU that the city entered into last year. And it essentially serves as an audit function for the Pierce County expenditure of the funds, which totals, I'm correcting the information I gave at the study session, 2.8 million to Pierce County. Happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? No questions? All right. Seeing none. Any comments from the public? And I see no public. The clerk, please call the roll.
Reed,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes,
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Bull,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Brown.
yes.
Thank you. 7-0. All right. Now we move on to, I have to say it again, appointment of the Opioid Abatement Council member and alternate. Councilmember Boteto, would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint a member of the Opioid Abatement Council member and alternate.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hochstetter. Andrea Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor. So tonight, council will be nominating and electing a member to serve on the Pierce County OAC, as well as an alternate. The member can be either a member of the city council or a staff member. The obligation is a 3-year term with no less than 1 meeting per year. And the first meeting must occur within 120 days of recording the interlocal agreement that just passed with the last agenda item. If there are questions during the nomination or election process, I'm happy to help.
Right. So on my sheet, it asks for comments from the public. Do we have any comments? It also asks for on the council, so,
Yeah, I have it.
all right. We'll take yours first.
So I know it's a 3-year term. Can you extend that term? You know, like, can you consecutively serve?
Yeah,
you
there
know?
did not appear to be any limit on consecutive terms.
Okay, thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes, I just wanted to state that we discussed this very thoroughly in study session so that we all understood what it was. And the council sort of came to some agreements on who they might want to nominate. So I think we're probably in good shape on that.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I will ask for nominations for the primary member. And I will just call on members and you tell me your choice. So
No.
Councilmember Brown. What?
Mayor, at this point, the floor is open for nominations. So anyone that would like to nominate somebody can do so at this time.
Okay. Anybody would like to nominate? And that would be Deputy Mayor.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Mr. Jason Wilson, our city administrator.
All right. I don't see a hand raised up there. Anybody down here? Anybody else? No. Okay,
I'd like to nominate Andrea Marquez.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. So. Michelle, would you call the roll?
Mayor, before the clerk does that, can we just clarify the procedures for tonight? So we're gonna do two different nominations and two different votes. So the first vote is for the primary member.
Right.
So when the clerk calls your name, please state who between me and Ms. Marquez you want as your primary member.
Right.
And then we'll repeat the process for the secondary. Just want to make sure everybody's clear on the process.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Michelle.
Potato,
Jason Wilson.
Brown,
Jason Wilson.
Reed,
Jason Wilson,
Stewart,
Jason Wilson,
Hochstetter,
Jason Wilson,
Cole,
Jason Wilson.
Newman.
City Manager Jason Wilson.
All right, that's 7. So Jason, it is you. Okay, so nominations for alternate. We only had 2. Do we need to go through?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
I'd like to nominate Andrea Marquez.
Okay.
As alternate.
thank you. Anybody else? All right, seeing none. Oh. Councilmember Stewart.
thank you. I nominate Mayor Hayden.
Oh, thank you, I think. All right. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Brown,
Ms. Marquez.
Reed,
Ms. Marquez,
Stewart,
Mayor Hayden,
Hochstetter,
Andrea Marquez,
Newman,
City Attorney Andrea Marquez.
Potato,
Andrea Marquez.
Cole.
Andrea Marquez.
6-1, Andrea. You win. All right. So Jason will be our primary and Andrea will be secondary on that one. All right, so we move on to council reports. Pat Cole.
Okay, so there was a Rainier Communications Commission meeting on May 17th, so I have a hopefully quick summary for that. There was the ILA update was that the county attorneys are working on some details that they will be sharing with the city attorneys to share so that they can deal with a few topics. They didn't mention what they were. Other news is that the franchise agreement with Comcast passed unanimously. In the category of new business, there are a few items and they are: 1, we will be having a June 15th special meeting for the budget. And we thought that would be in lieu of the July 19th meeting, but not so. So we'll have both of those. That July 19th meeting will be put back on the calendar to discuss the ILA. And we reviewed the biennial budget for 24-25. It is a work in progress, is what we were told, and by the details you'll understand. There was a discussion about revenue, which is based on membership dues. For Sumner, it's relatively unchanged, and it'll be $15,160 for 24, $15,900 for 25. Operations, the budget is not yet balanced, but it will be. And 2024 will be the first year for all jurisdictions with the new rate that they have in place. The total revenue projected is expected to be absorbed by all the member agencies.
And it pretty much is based on the 2023 actuals. And for Sumner, it is proposed to be 4,500 for 24 and 14,500 for 2024 and 14,000 even for 2025. Expenses, they added will be adding one new FTE, and they will be at 7 FTEs, and their wages will reflect a 4% COLA. We were told that costs are generally up all across all the line items, but they will balance the budget eventually. Currently, though, the expenses are exceeding the revenue by $66,000 for 2024, $40,000 for 2025. And almost done. There was a discussion about the capital plan. And while all of their equipment is on an 8-year replacement cycle, but they need to replace most within 4 to 5 years, but they're going to stick with that 8-year replacement cycle. And there will be some council chambers updated for the jurisdictions, and Sumner will be a part of that. And lastly, PCTV received an Emmy nomination for Inside Pierce County. And it's the short form government category. And they were competing with 2 other groups, and there was more information to be revealed on June 3rd. And I don't know what happened there. So anyway, congratulations. They won. Excellent. So that's it. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor,
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilmember Botetto.
No, just wish all the high school graduates the best as they move on, and that's all I have tonight.
Councilmember Brown. Thank you. Councilmember Newman.
Just that I hope that everyone without air conditioning finds a way to stay cool this week.
Councilmember Reed.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilmember Stewart.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Thank you. City Administrator Jason Wilson.
Good evening, council. Coming up at next week's study session, you have a few items on your agenda. We're going to start off with an update from Gretchen Casarati, the Pierce County Library Executive Director. She'll be giving us an update on the Library Capital Facilities Area Bond Initiative. That is, sorry, not a bond initiative, but a bond measure that's on the ballot in August. Then we're going to recap the 2023 legislative session. Our lobbyist, Bill Clark, will be here with us, as well as some staff to present a number of pieces of legislation that passed, and including some things that directly impact Sumner in the very short future. And then the Finance Department will be talking about utility billing code amendment. And that's actually a direct correlation to a piece of legislation that passed this year, and it'll be some changes that we have to implement this July. And then we will have an executive session next week as well. On June 20th, which is a Tuesday, the regular council meeting. A reminder, June 19th is a holiday, so we'll be meeting on Tuesday, the 20th. They'll have a purchase and sale agreement for a piece of property called the Robinson parcel. It's along the future park in the Creekside neighborhood, formerly known as the Bennett property. So we'll be asking your consideration for that, as well as a purchase and sale agreement for the Mankey parcels associated with the Stewart Road Bridge. You'll be accepting the biosolids dewatering improvement project, approving a contract award for the White River Restoration Construction Management, and then considering an ordinance amending the 2023-2024 biennial budget. These are the second quarter budget amendments, as well as an ordinance adopting the International Property Maintenance Code. On the commission front, the Design Commission last week met with the Sound Transit Parking Garage contractor for a preliminary review of their early designs. A lot of feedback was given between the Design Commission and the contractor, and they'll be working over the next month or so to refine their design with the Design Commission's recommendations, and I'll be coming back to them for a final review. And then on the personnel front, I'm pleased to say the city hired a lateral police officer named Justin Gregson. Justin has over a decade of experience, including with the Washington State Patrol, and most recently working about the last 9 years with the Federal Way Police Department. We're continually recruiting for lateral and entry-level police officers with several anticipated retirements in the next year. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Wilson? All right, seeing none. Okay, mayor's comments. Summer is here. Rhubarb Days is coming on the June 24th and 25th. Jeremy and the Sumner Main Street Association heard loud and clear that it needs more rhubarb, so mark your calendar and bring your appetite. Music Off Main begins on July 7th and runs every Friday in July, with the Chalk Art Festival also on July 29th. Nights on Ryan is just one night this year on August 12th. And we have extended the deadline to be a vendor there. So check our website at www.sumnerwa.gov and apply online by June 21st. The summer print newsletter is in production and will soon hit mailboxes with all this information. If you don't live in Sumner, you can always pick up a copy at locations around town, including the library, the food bank, Main Street office, and the old cannery. With that, I adjourn this meeting at 6:30.